Hello and welcome to episode 24 of DIY Cinema Cult. It's Mark here. I'm doing a very, very brief intro to this episode because it's a bit different than our usual episodes. Erin and I did go out and do our drunken magical Christmas stroll as we traditionally do around this time of year. But what happened was this year we got maybe a bit too drunk, recorded far too much stuff, and what I ended up with was a kind of black box recording of the previous evening. So when I came home I had like absolutely tons and tons of stuff to go through. Anyway, I've cut it down for you, and this is going to be part one of our Perineum black box recorder, which is also an excellent band name I must take note of. Anyway, I'd also like to apologise for the sound quality on these next two episodes. You know, it was very windy up the top of Ali Pali, and number two, once we had a bit of drink in us, I was very bad. My sound recording techniques went out the window, the recorder was just stuffed in my bag, and then the levels were getting knocked, and I wasn't monitoring it properly, which is why we sometimes sound like mad Daleks. And listen out for on this episode, a very drunk family from Yorkshire sliding down a muddy hill towards our bench as we were recording the episode, which I think you would agree makes for a very fun and Christmassy interruption. Anyway, without further ado, here is episode 1 of the Perineum Black Box Recorder.
Come, follow us
on our journey to get a low-budget
DIY
feature film from script
to screen and beyond.
Nobody knows who we are.
Look at yourselves, realistically, nobody's going to give you that money. Nobody. You don't know who the fuck you are. It's a complete risk. You are unknown.
This is our first feature film, something we're going to do together. You're going to get it warts and all.
For now, you're just some pair of videos like everyone else.
It's all about making something out of nothing.
I kind of think we could.
Never wait for permission, just start.
This is DIY Cinema Cult.
You may all be able to hear in the distance the chants of darts fans coming out of Ali Pali. Me and Erin decided to meet at the top of Ali Pali to have a sunset to celebrate our final episode of the year with a sunset over London. But of course, the darts is kicking out and we are surrounded by thousands of darts fans. And darts fans tend to be very drunk middle-aged men dressed as dogs, sharks, crayons. We've seen a pack of crayons.
A lot of the Simpsons, weirdly.
Simpsons characters.
Bart Simpson, Homer Simpson, Marge Simpson.
Yeah.
You can hear the distant kind of dulcet tones of many a drunken chap.
We did decide to maybe meet at the very top of Ali Pali. There's a lovely pub called the Phoenix, but of course, pubs for these guys are like catnip. And of course, once someone saw the bar was open, it's been flooded.
It's been flooded, and I think the interesting thing is that as an area goes, this is it could be described as a lugubrious kind of area. It's a very kind of nice middle class area. Alexander Palace. Yeah. Mark and I now live either side of the palace from each other.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's joggers, it's people kind of walking their dogs.
Yeah.
It's mums pushing prams.
That's right.
It's quite a lot of fitness people. But for this weird week in the middle of Christmas, in the frosty Perineum, as we now call it, it sort of gets transformed.
It does, doesn't it? I came when I was looking for you earlier. I walked this way. We're currently at the bus stops where a lot of them are kind of congregating, and I was a bunch of lads came past me and went, "Hey, can you take our picture, mate?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course, no problem." And so. And then one of them went, "You're not going to run off there, are you?" to which I did a comedy act like I was about to run off. They laughed. I've still got it. Still got the lad bands.
Oh, nice.
And then a bunch of girls came past and said, "Do you want me to take your picture?" "I'll take it." And I said, "What, you think I'm with this lot? I've never been so insulted all my life." To which there was more lad laughs. So I've still got the lad bands there.
You got it?
Yeah, still got it.
It could have really gone wrong, couldn't it?
It could have gone so wrong.
You could have just got your tone of voice a little bit wrong, and before you know it, you'd have just been being battered to death by Homer Simpson.
I know. I hadn't really thought about
Santa,
hadn't really thought about what a kind of dodgy approach that was, just to kind of take the piss out of them while I had their camera in my hands.
You're obviously, you're flying. You've still got the sharpness that you need to navigate a drunken pack of Marge Simpsons. So good on you.
I'm not sure about our chances of finding a quiet place to sit down. We're now just passing bushes with grown men pissing in them.
Well, I'm not quite sure we're going to get. We might need to head south, mate.
We might have to go south.
Yeah, I think if we go that way, we're gonna get to the station. So if we head that way, I feel like we might be slightly sane. Here we go. So, as we pass underneath the famous television tower of Ali Pali, which used to broadcast all of the BBC's output.
I think it actually broadcast the very first pictures, so I believe. Television pictures.
And being of a sort of musical persuasion, I'm always been slightly fascinated by the famous Technicolored. What was it described as? 1967, sort of the start of the kind of hippie psychedelia movement in a way. It's called the Amazing Technicolored Dream or something, and it was there's pictures, famous pictures of John Lennon walking around, and Pink Floyd played, and people were clearly in all sorts of psychedelic states or another.
They used to have psychedelic parties that lasted for days, I believe.
I mean, and there's a big sort of poster up there of Mick Jagger, kind of strutting his stuff on those on that very stage. It's also burnt down a few times, isn't it, Ali?
Well, the sun is kind of setting now, which is quite nice. It's like the sun setting on 2021.
Yes. And here we are.
Here we are again in another. This isn't as frosty as the last Perineum we did.
No, definitely not as frosty. I think it was today. There was almost parts of it that were balmy. Frankly, we could rebrand it as the balmy Perineum this year.
It's been quite nice. I do remember coming out to meet you last year and it being absolutely freezing cold.
It was proper cold, and we were still in that weird situation when we actually weren't physically allowed to be nearer than 2 meters. So we were kind of wandering around with our cable attached to each other, and I remember thinking, well, we kind of got to keep a bit of a healthy distance, haven't we? Which is a slightly surreal thing. We're still not totally out of all that stuff, but it definitely is slightly different, isn't it?
We kind of almost want to back around and go.
We'll do it.
Let's. Too muddy to go over here.
Well, we can kind of manage. Here we go. We're going cross country now, listeners. Cross country in London is basically just a slightly muddy connection between two paths.
How's Kate's toe?
So I mean, we had a comedy meet-up, didn't we, a couple of days ago?
Yeah,
so,
me and Debbie and Jude came round to yours, and me and Debbie now. I don't know if anyone else out there suffers from this, but when me and Debbie, it appears, whenever we kind of log off, clock off to the grid, as it were. And on a kind of freewheeling through Christmas and New Year, we kind of completely lose our senses when it comes to time and scheduling. And we arrived at your house for 1 o'clock, but it was actually 12:20, and we even thought we were a bit late.
It was,
and you looked horrified as you opened the door, and you were like, "I thought we said 1 o'clock," and we were like, "Yeah, you did, isn't it 1 o'clock? I thought it was like 1:20." I was an hour early.
I've never known him to be quite so early before, and actually for us, for Kate and I, we were pretty well prepared in comparison to what things are normally like. As in, the flat was tidy. We were kind of cooking away. But the only one thing is that Kate and I neither of us had a shower yet. And so Kate, in her haste, kind of jumped into the shower as she realised you two were coming up the stairs, and at that very moment smashed her already weakened little toe.
Oh my God.
And has dislocated it and completely broken it.
Oh, so it is kind of broken as well. It's not just
broken, sadly. So it was an interesting start. Should we take a little sip?
Yeah, let's have a little sip, because I'm quite enjoying this kind of sunset-y vibe.
Yeah. It was definitely an interesting start. But Kate, the trooper she is, just kind of ploughed on and was like, I'll go to the A&E afterwards. It'll be fine. And I was like, are you sure? She's like, yeah, I'll be fine. I was like, okay. And so we had dinner. I think it might be time for a top up there, Mark.
Yeah, it is. Well, do you want? I've got gin in a can, and I've got Baileys. What do you fancy?
Baileys. Oh my God, that sounds like a pudding.
Come on, let's have. Do you want a bit of pudding?
I'm not sure I'm ready for pudding. I think I'll go for the main course.
Shall we do our first of our DIY Cinema Cult Christmas crackers?
Oh, what's this?
This is our work party, shall we say?
This is our work drinks. Generally, we don't get to do these sorts of things, do we? Or
No.
Freelancers the world over don't really get to do these sorts of things. So I'm glad we're taking.
I mean, I've put some kind of New Year's Christmassy questions. They're very small, aren't they?
They're amazing.
I've put questions in there, but I couldn't manage to get the jokes or the hats out. So we still have to bear the kind of Christmas cracker jokes.
Okay, here we go.
Oh,
you win, of course.
I should have put the mic to that. Sorry, I'll do that. Okay, here's our first question.
Mark has kind of, in a very DIY way, kind of made a cracker, or has adapted a cracker.
I've adapted a cracker, which is very DIY.
Which is very DIY. Yeah, use what you have and all of that.
I'm going to tell the joke first because that's the tradition, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, which dog always wins the race?
Which dog? You know what? We were on Christmas Day. We were doing a lot of crackers, and the kids loved to
guess them.
And so we got quite sharp. And I think that was one of those ones that I remember the answer for, but it's completely and utterly bypassed my memory now. Which one always wins the race? And it's going to really annoy me.
You're going to kick yourself. It's the one with the most comfortable lead.
That's one. There's only 7 jokes in crackers, and that was one of them. I can't believe I've forgotten that.
But that was rotten. But what we do have is a great question here, which is, what is the best dad present you have given yourself this Christmas? Because as a dad, as a fellow dad, I know that the best presents you always get every year, the ones you buy yourself in October, November time, in the lead up to Christmas, and you tell yourself that it's your Christmas present to yourself.
Yeah.
Well, so, what's yours?
I noticed this trend happening a few years back. And I remember going, used to be that other people would give me Christmas presents, and now I kind of have to buy myself something if it's to be something that kind of is good. Yeah,
but it's the best way, because I don't think it's been rare that I've received like a brilliant Christmas present.
Kicking present.
You were always the best person to buy for yourself.
Yeah,
let's face it. Right?
This is true. Yeah, this is true. It's a little bit sad, but basically nobody knows quite what you want. I did kind of make requests, which meant I did get good presents from Kate, for example. So, and in true North London middle class fashion, I did get a kombucha making kit this year.
Oh yeah, Kate did tell me that one.
So I can't complain on that front. I think that's pretty good.
And she got a sushi making kit.
She got a sushi making kit, so we're kind of, we are.
That is very kind of Muswell Hill.
We're going all the way Muswell Hill there.
Sushi and kombucha night. Let's go crazy.
But what did I get myself? In fact, what I did in the end was stop myself getting something for myself.
Ooh, very good.
I nearly bought myself, and then I realised it would be an enormous distraction in my life. I nearly bought myself the new Behringer R3, I think it's called, and it's basically a clone of the classic Acid House baseline box. But rather than the many thousands of pounds that it goes for the vintage variation, you get the cheap knockoff version, and it only costs 89 quid.
Oh my God.
And there was everything in me was saying, just buy it. Why not? It's just 89 quid. You'd spend that on a hard drive and you wouldn't even think about it.
Why didn't you?
And why didn't I? Because I suddenly realised it would be the most distracting thing going. I actually stopped myself buying the dad present this year. What about you?
Well, I actually kind of do know what you mean, because I had a couple of things I wanted to buy, and I realised that I guess what you're talking about is you've got so much on at the moment in terms of your film that you don't need another layer of distraction to. Yeah, I totally get that, and I was thinking the same thing, but I did give in to my present that I bought myself, which was a subscription to Masterclass.
Oh, and I just gave mine up this year.
You were joking, did you? So I've always wanted to do it, and I think
Yeah.
when it first came out, you could only get like one course for 90 quid or 60 quid or something
Yeah,
prohibitive.
and there was
anyway.
only basically 4 things on there.
Yeah, but
about
then
3
since
years
they
ago.
moved it to like a yearly or monthly or annual
Yeah.
subscription, and it becomes more like a streaming service, I
Yeah.
was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll get it for a year,
Yeah.
and I'll do a James Brown. I'll hit it and quit it. I'll just do loads and loads in
Yeah.
a year, and then cancel it.
Yeah.
And so I bought myself that, and I've been absolutely caning it in the last
Yeah.
couple of weeks and months, actually.
Yeah. What have you watched?
I've done Herzog,
Yeah.
David Lynch,
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese, Spike Lee, Ron Howard.
Yeah.
I've kind of just done I've been doing all the
films.
filmmakers. I'm starting now on Aaron Sorkin because I'm starting
Yeah.
to do writing things
Story,
as well.
yeah.
But brilliant. I mean, absolutely kind of loved it. What were the ones you must have seen them all?
Well,
then,
yeah, I
have
think
you?
I've done all of the above.
Yeah.
You know, the Herzog is great. Herzog's kind of frustrating in a classic Herzog way, in that he basically says, there are no rules. Ignore everybody. Make it up yourself. Be brave, effectively.
Yeah.
So you're a bit like, oh, come on, tell me a few rules.
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on,
yeah.
Werner. But
Yeah.
at the same time, completely brilliant. Obviously, Uncle David, we love, is just mesmerising.
Oh.
Don't really mind what he says. I'll just listen. Just watches over
It's
you
just
in that
his
great
voice
way.
is so hypnotic and
Yeah.
puts you in such a frame of mind. The Herzog one was great, although I agree with you, like if you'd read like a guide for the perplexed, his book,
Which
it's
is
kind
amazing.
of everything he kind of says, which is amazing, but there's nothing, you don't really get anything new from the masterclass. But I
Yeah.
just love that you're just listening, you're just watching him speak.
We're watching him
for
speak, exactly.
6 hours or whatever it is.
And Scorsese's good. I think there's quite a lot of meat on the bone in
Yeah.
the Scorsese one. I mean, what I loved about them, obviously, is that, you know, they've clearly not squimped on the production value.
Yeah.
And they've got kind of the biggest names you could ever really ask for.
Yeah.
As in, you know, it's not a YouTuber doing it for a change.
Yes, exactly.
And I think
yeah.
that was probably the concept behind it was, well, we hear
It's
a lot
premium,
of YouTubers telling
yeah.
you how to make a film, but frankly, all that they've shown that they can do is make a YouTube channel.
Exactly.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But what about if you got people who you all respect all their films, love all their films? So in that sense, I think it is amazing. One of the most useful I've actually found is, particularly making a doc at the moment, is Ken Burns' one.
Oh right, yeah, he's on my list.
Yeah. Partly because obviously he's got the best bowl haircut on earth.
Yes.
It's an amazing, like, play people bowl haircut.
He must trim like like a kind of bonsai tree every day. Probably.
Yeah, it's a no nonsense haircut. It's a just get the hair out of my eyes and then it's fine. I can keep working. But because actually I think that in a way there's a lot more out there for dramatic film than there is for documentary making. And because I'm sort of new to making a documentary, although I've obviously been doing this for a little while, there is a bit of me is like, well, I've watched loads of documentaries, but how do you set about organising your thoughts for this thing? And of course, they're all different. And you know, his are very narrative-driven with a voiceover.
Yeah.
So they tend to be all driven through a script, a master script, which, to be totally honest, I'm a bit too lazy to do because it means writing something and before you even start editing, you know, and I'm I'm a little bit lazy, but fascinating to hear particular approaches and structure, and the fact that he uses very much the same approach as a dramatic filmmaker, as in there is everything is a sort of like a fractal level. There is the beats, there is the scenes, there is the chapters, there is the acts, there is the overall structure, and all of those in a way have got to have some change or reveal or something that's got to occur as a result. Obviously he's quite an academic filmmaker, but what it struck me was like, it was great to hear that there's so many parallels between dramatic storytelling in the narrative fictional way and documentary too.
I want to get into some of those documentary ones. I know Werner touched on it a little bit in his, and he was kind of saying the same thing. It was he was very much into bending fact into some kind of narrative and kind
he calls it poetic narrative.
Yeah, exactly.
Poetic truth.
Yeah. But probably the one I watched first, and probably the one I got the most out of, was Ron Howard's one, because simply he's such a technician in a way, or just a kind of, how would you describe him? Just as a real kind of well-crafted jobbing director. Like he's got no Spike Lee, Martin Scorsese, even Werner Herzog. They're all about their personality.
Yes.
Whereas Ron Howard is a technically brilliant Hollywood director, let's say. Yeah. And you can give him he's a safe pair of hands, and he could do any big budget blockbuster or what have you.
Yeah.
So his one was kind of interesting, because his was all about, right, let's, he'll give his little chats to the camera, and then half of it, maybe 2 or 3 hours of it, was given up to him in a studio, blocking out. It was a scene he'd done in Frost Nixon, and he hired a bunch of actors, and he was like, right, I'm not going to do it like I did in the film. Let's just treat it like a new script. I've never seen it before. And you just watch him block it out with actors who've never really studied the script before, who've seen the movie but don't really know it too well. And he does it in, what was fascinating about the way he did it was he did it in a number of different ways. He goes, right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cover it how I would probably cover it, a bit like I did in the film. Now we're going to spend half an hour doing it with Steadicam. How would I do it in like a one shot? And then right at the end he does, right, what if this was a no budget or low budget feature? We're running out of time to make the day. We've got half an hour to shoot this entire thing that we just spent 4 hours doing a study of. And he just shows you how he would break it down. Yeah. And I found that fascinating and quite kind of insightful, just because he is this director who is he's Mr. Hollywood, isn't he, at the moment, really, when it comes to kind of film directing.
I think as well, because blocking, again, is one of those things that you don't really get to see much talked about. And with, again, with the sort of YouTube world that we're in, what you see a lot about is, 3-point lighting and shallow depth of field and gimbals and stuff like that. Yeah. So all of that stuff is all fine. But what you realise, what really makes those Hollywood movies is kind of the choreography of the camera, the actors, the lights, and there's a sort of fluidity level that is so well crafted in those movies, because it comes from the days when everything was done on a crane. Everything had a weight underneath the camera, because the camera was massive, and you had to have a truck and the lights were huge, and so it's come from that kind of world of Hollywood, which is all about effectively creating this beautiful mise-en-scene, and it all being blocked beautifully to kind of tell the story in a high production sort of way, so that stuff you don't get to see a lot. You don't really bit tricky, isn't it?
Are we in train yet?
Train or tube? Not really. Train that way.
Finsbury.
Oh, Finsbury, that you've got to walk that way and get the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, W3.
But that way is what?
Alexander Palace.
Palace, yeah.
Alexander Palace, come on.
And I think you can get the train from there into Finsbury Park, can't you?
You can get round the hill, like, to watch that.
Get back on the path. Oh shit. It's like it's a knockout.
This way? No, it's that way. Alexander Brook.
You can't stop the train all the way back to Yorkshire. No, we can't even get off the train. We need to get to Primark. We need to get Primark. Why have we gone down the hill?
Good luck.
Good luck. Safe journey.
You are listening to the debut feature film podcast. This is DIY Cinema Cult.
But what I did like about Ron Howard was that what I found because obviously he's come from acting, he is an actor who has become a film director.
And he was a sort of sitcom actor as well, so he was very much like, it was a studio.
Yeah.
He was standing there was probably an audience there.
Yeah.
You know, it was all the camera was pretty much flat on, but he's probably looked at it from the other side.
Have you watched his masterclass one? Is that one you've seen?
Not all of it.
So when he goes to the studio and he starts to block things out, what I really hit me was how he starts the blocking with the actors.
Yeah.
So he'll go, right, I want you to just do the scene. And then what he'll do is if they have an instinct like to stand up at a certain point, he goes, right, okay, I like that instinct, let's build on that. So it starts from an actor's point of view always. He doesn't come in and say, right, this is the wide, you stand there and you stand there. It's always like he'll do a run through first and see what the actors kind of feel out for themselves, and stuff, which I thought was brilliant because he's obviously come from that background. You know, he is an actor, and that's probably the way he would be directed himself. So,
I mean, I think the other thing about the masterclass is that why I cancelled my subscription. Funnily enough, we got it for ourselves about 3 years ago.
This isn't sponsored by Masterclass, by the way.
It's definitely
this episode of the pod,
because I cancelled my subscription,
and we're about to hear why. Masterclass,
was in a way almost it's still a compliment in that I felt lovely. I thought it was yet another distraction.
Well, this is my thing. I felt the same thing about you. I was like, do I get it, and will it be beneficial and help me, or will it just be another reason why I'm not working on a script, doing a bit of storyboarding or whatever, you know, or doing a bit of planning?
And the odd thing is that I obviously you always feel like you're learning. You feel like you're learning something from watching stuff, but I always actually feel that the effect of learning things more if I've read it. So it feels like you're really soaking stuff up when you watch it. Whereas if I read it, I actually feel like it's going in more somehow. So one dad present I do remember that I did buy myself is a book on documentary editing. Done by a BBC and ITV documentary editor. And again, I think it's just because it's so it's such a world that you never hear about. How does an editor who basically is sat in front of a computer all day long, how do they manage their thoughts? Because that's what editing is, kind of organising thoughts in some way, isn't it? Structuring mood, emotion, story, all that stuff. But to do that, with a narrative film, you film the thing, so you decide exactly what it's going to be like, and then it may not go exactly how you want it to, but you have this material that began its life in a script. Whereas in a documentary, you gather material, and then in a way it's like a big puzzle, right? It's like a massive puzzle. So as we all know, it's Christmas time, puzzles, you get this, often people like to have a huge Christmas puzzle. And at first you just think, well, that's just impenetrable and impossible. So you often start with the small thing. You go, okay, I found the corners of this puzzle. And slowly you find the things which fit. The difference between that analogy and a documentary is actually the documentary could be reassembled in any form.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's a puzzle, but it's a puzzle without a definitive end point.
Yeah. And it could change halfway through. You could suddenly, something could reveal itself to you.
Yeah.
And you have to be flexible enough to go, oh, I thought it was this, but actually it's this.
Yeah. And so this book has been quite helpful. It's literally called A Guide to Documentary Editing. Forget the name of the author. But it's felt to me like it goes in a little bit more than when I watch a video, because I'm actually watching a tutorial, or I'm watching personality deliver this thing, as well as the information that's behind it. Whereas I'm feeling like I'm getting the information. Obviously, it's got to be in a form which is kind of works. It's got to kind of go in. I'm also enjoying reading for another reason. Is because I've actually not realised that for about the last 3 years I'm completely fucking blind.
Oh,
and I
fuck.
can't bloody see. I can't read a book.
Oh my God.
And now I've just got some reading glasses, and suddenly it's like, the pleasure of reading is back. The joy, the words that I'm not squinting at. So I think from years of screen use, my close-up vision is just gone.
Yeah.
And now I've got some reading glasses. So suddenly books are way back on the agenda for the first time in a long time. And I'm dreaming about things that are in the book, you know. It's amazing how much I've probably missed it, you know. I probably haven't been reading.
It's finding the time,
for the
though,
last
isn't
2
it?
years.
It's finding the time as well, isn't it? I've got a stack of books.
Yeah.
I've got two or three stacks of books in my bedroom of books
Yeah.
I've got to go through, and I just can't find the time.
No.
You know, it's trying to find the moments to kind of do it. I should quit masterclass, and then I could use that as my reading time. I love the David Lynch one, obviously, just because it's David Lynch sitting at a desk smoking fags and talking about films.
Yeah.
But I was, oh my God, that bit where he, he'd watch a bit of a film, all the lights go down. You watch the bit of film, then the lights go up, and he talks about it. And when he watched It's a Wonderful Life, and the lights come up, and he's just got these big glistening tears in his eyes.
Yeah.
And he's just so moved by it. And he doesn't give any kind of apology or explanation. He just kind of carries on with the thing he's about to say, which was, you know, Jimmy Stewart, you know, when he made this film, he had just come back from war, didn't think he had it anymore. But it's just, you know, he was so perfect in this film because I love the way, for David Lynch, who's kind of maybe portrayed wrongly as a director who's all about kind of bonkers, mad, batshit crazy, but really he's about real human truth, really.
Yeah.
And what he loved about Jimmy Stewart was how open his soul was in the film.
Yeah.
And as he's explaining this, he just kind of cracks again and starts to cry. And it was so touching to see him do that.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And I think the thing about, the sad thing about Jimmy Stewart is apparently he's a real gun-toting right-wing loony.
Right.
But we just have to ignore that fact because he makes lovely films and he speaks like that.
Oh, get my gun, Mary.
Get my gun,
Get
Mary.
my gun,
Get
Mary.
Yeah. And Rear Window is the best film. Rear Window is the best film.
Yeah.
I was going to say ever there. I was tempted, but it's close.
Oh, it's pretty good, isn't it?
Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait a minute. There. Oh, there. There's the horn.
But you were lit beautifully there in a kind of Terrence Malick kind of golden hour light there for a minute.
Yeah. Well, you've got the backlight, you see. You've got the backlight.
I mean, if we were filming these things, this would be premium stuff. This would be a masterclass.
Yeah. Well, it's the classic golden hour or magic hour, as it's known. Have you ever had to film in golden hour? Have you ever tried to film specifically in golden hour?
I haven't personally for one of my things. I think I've been on shoots where, like maybe commercial shoots where we've done that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But look at the glistening lights of the buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
When I do my run in the morning, I run from my house all the way up to the top of Valley Pally, and by the time I get there, it's maybe 7:15 in the morning.
Oh, nice!
And it's lovely. And it's like it looks. I mean, it's darker than this at the moment, but it's such a lovely feeling to be kind of awake before everyone and just see all the lights of London. This is a lovely view of London, isn't it? It's got to be one of the maybe. Primrose Hill, do you reckon?
Parliament Hill and here.
Parliament Hill's better, yeah.
I don't know about better. This gives you a wider view, I think, from the top. You really see a good 270 degrees of London, you know, or maybe not quite, but you know, it's a good one. Whereas it's a little bit more framed at the top of Parliament Hill and Primrose Hill, both of which I love. But this is the wide angle,
maybe.
This is the wide angle, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do a little Rocky dance when you get to the top?
I wish I had the energy to do a Rocky dance. By the time I get to those steps, honestly, it's a killer. Have you seen how steep they are? Oh, and then there's steps. There's 2 sets of steps.
But that's where you
I
in
don't
your
think-
head you hear.
I try so hard, but I'm dead. I'm dead. I can do on a good day. I can do from my house to the top of the steps without stopping at all. But it's hard because sometimes that is so steep, that hill.
That's so
it just
steep.
kills me. I just
Well,
have to stop.
There's a reason why I see people doing the fitness thing up there, and that's because it's fucking hard.
Oh my God, it's so hard.
Well, strangely, one time I did shoot Magic Hour was
Oh,
up
it was
here.
you, wasn't it, for the Graham Coxon video?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
So we did a documentary, not a documentary, we did a music video for a Graham Coxon from Blur project for a charity CALM, which was the Campaign Against Living Miserably, which is a
That was a lovely video,
mental
mate.
health charity. Yeah, and you helped out on that, sort of did first ADing on that and stuff.
I did. I had to do my best attempt not to be starstruck with Graham Coxon.
And one of the shots we had to do was up at the top of Ali Pali, and it was exactly that. It was a dad like yourself, middle-aged like yourself, hate to say it, running as hard as he could. Hate to say it. Getting to the top and nearly dying.
Well, you know what? I know all about that. That's life. That's true life.
It was a beautiful shot, and we were really lucky because it was a little bit earlier than this time of year, but it was kind of end of November, wasn't it, or something like that? Because the film got released in December, sort of Christmas type thing, and we got an incredible sunrise over London, and
it was lovely. It was really lovely shots.
Beautiful shots.
So, and you put me in it as well. I was another depressed
You were
dad.
another depressed dad.
Yeah.
Well, there's something obviously going on there.
I was, because you came and filmed me when
You
I
were
was
working at the BBC.
Yeah, so we walked around Shepherd's Bush, which is kind of intimidating place to be filmed.
Yeah.
Shepherd's Bush Market and stuff. But it was. We'll stick the video on our YouTube channel.
We should. It's about that time of year. It's a Christmassy film about middle-aged male depression. But it was, which is very apt. But yeah, I think it just suddenly remembered that we filmed it here, didn't we? And it had a great kind of success in a way of sort of raising profile of the charity. And,
brilliant.
And I'm trying to think of other Magic Hour filming that I've done. I did one that was for a kind of a commercial, I guess, in a castle in the south coast, and so it was. So we had to be in Sussex, in the middle of kind of the countryside, in a medieval castle at 6 a.m. in February.
Nice.
And you can imagine, and we didn't have any nice honey wagons or anything like that to keep us warm. And the cast members, the 2 talent members, 2 girls, and it was meant to be wedding, 2 women getting married. So they were in strappy dresses at 7 o'clock in the morning,
God. Okay.
6:45, and while we ran around with gimbals filming them dancing in slow motion, as you do.
Is there still legal cases about this pending about this? Can we talk about this?
Yeah, we've sold the rushes in dubious dark web forums. But no, it was for a client that I do a lot of film work for, Historic England, lovely client. And but again, the chasing of the light, and this is how dedicated I was to the shot. I had gone there on a recce.
Yeah.
Same time of day.
Oh, good.
The week before.
Very prepared.
And figured out where the sun would be. And realised that it would go over this turret at this particular moment at the morning. And I figured, well, like, on a week's time, it will be over there. But of course, it could have been a grey, cold, damp, wet day, and then the whole shot would have been nothing. But we were lucky.
And on that note, let's do another magical cracker.
Magical cracker. Yeah, you know, Mike, but you've got the kind of holding the cracker grip thing, which means you're always going to win. I'm going to try a twist technique. I just ripped it out of your hand. Here we go. And it didn't get any sound. So do I read the joke first? Better read the joke first.
Yeah, go on.
Here we go. Where's the joke? I got the hat.
Where's the joke?
Was that a cigarette? No.
No, that was the bang. I think that was the banger.
That was the bang.
Sorry, I'm filling up your bag with
No,
cans.
that's all right. That's
Is that
all
all
right.
right?
It's a
Should
communal
we make
bag.
that a
That's-
bin bag?
that's there's the joke. The joke's going flying off. Here we go. Right, yeah. So here's an example.
Okay, here's
of
the
me
jokes,
not being able
guys.
to read that. There's no fucking way I can read that.
Okay,
Can
here
you
we
read
go.
that?
Oh, I'm having trouble now.
That might be the second
What
gin that's doing
do you call a bunch of chess players bragging about the game in a hotel lobby? Sorry, I read that like I'd just come out of a car crash. It was because the light is so low and my eyes aren't great either. So what do you call a bunch of chess players bragging about the game in the hotel lobby? You call them chestnuts boasting in an open foyer.
That is quite sort
appalling. That's
it's
appalling.
a little bit kind of
Insulting, actually.
Insulting. It's so specific that there's just no way on earth anybody would have ever guessed it. Maybe guessing it's not the point, but at least being funny and not guessing it is definitely the point.
That was the freelancer, wasn't it?
That was pretty bad. Okay, so here's the real point of the cracker, which is the DIY element. So what has been your highlight of the year 2021?
Oh God.
I love the way you go, oh God, like I didn't know that question was
No, well the thing is, I
put the questions
put the questions in, and I put them in before Christmas. I had no idea what they were. And it's not like I haven't prepared any answers, which I should have done.
Oh God, I really didn't expect one coming.
Funny you ask, Aaron. Well, let me tell you. Oh fucking hell! I don't know.
Yep.
Look how I'm not distracting from the question, but look how the tower's gone green now.
The tower's gone green, yeah. But you are distracting from the question.
My highlights of 2021. I don't know.
Because it's been another weird year. Let's face it.
It's been another weird year. I get maybe my highlights have actually been fun work that I've done, because actually I've been working on your film.
Yes.
Earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Earlier in the year, and we're doing lovely animation for that.
Yeah.
And then I jumped from that film to Jamie's film.
Yeah, Jamie, who many moons ago we had on the podcast, who is making the film about the
Stevie Hyper D, The Hidden Influence, and would love to come back on because he's just locked picture.
Amazing.
He is in sound, he's final sound design now, and so he would love to come back on and talk about it, because he's had a bit of a mad journey with that, and I'm sure he'll tell us all about that.
Yeah.
But I jumped on his film as an editor, which was weird because I thought I was being brought on as a graphics guy, which is kind of what I hire myself out as for professional work. And Jamie was like, no, we saw Chewing Gum Man, and we quite liked the way, because see, Jamie's film is all about this guy who's a jungle MC, but there's a real family element in that.
Yeah.
It's being, his kind of story is being kind of opened up to us by a family member, by a nephew. So he wanted to bring
him around. Yeah.
He wanted to bring a bit of a kind of this emotional thing into it. So he saw Chewing Gum Man. He kind of said, maybe you could do it similarly to Chewing Gum Man, do a similar thing. And I had no idea I was being brought on as an editor. Yeah. And I was like, I've never edited a feature film, but fine, let's do it. And it was actually such a brilliant experience. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And I wish I could have done more time on the film. I just couldn't. I only had like a couple of weeks booked with him, and then after that I had to jump back on other work, and he but he had another editor come on, and then he kept sending me cuts and just wanted me to kind of oversee things and check things were kind of looking good. So I think in a way it was this year's been lovely, because I've been working on feature films, which is great. And then trying to set up Old Man, which has become a feature film. So it suddenly feels like there's like loads of feature films going on that we're kind of just doing and making, and it's all kind of sprung out of nowhere, it seems.
But well, I guess nothing ever sort of springs out of nowhere, because it is it's a long time of chipping away, and then things pop into life, don't they?
Let's leave it there for episode 1. There's Aaron and me being very, very Christmassy and philosophical on a park bench as the sun goes down. We will park it here, and we will pick up again in episode 25, Perineum Black Box Recorder Part 2. I will see you then.
Follow us on Twitter at DIY Cinema Cult, or on Instagram we are DIY_cinema_cult. Seek out the DIY Cinema Cult group on Facebook, or why not email us at DIYCinemaCult@gmail.com.